God, I think I was on mute the whole time. Oh gosh. All right, so essentially what we're doing is we are designing for tablet viewports, right? So I guess we could start off that in 2010, the size of smartphones has increased. That's pretty much when the tablet market took off, but the smartphones started to increase and the tablet market started to decline. Tablet devices vary by operating systems, manufacturing, and screen size. And since it's so hard to create a design that one fits all kind of layout for a tablet device, there is a responsive web design and media queries that you can design for multiple tablet layouts to accommodate the device viewport. So yeah. So what we did at first is we already had the mobile style rules, and now we created the media query to target the tablet devices, and that will adjust the page layout to better display content when viewed on tablet devices. The following steps in the media query to target tablet device. Yep. Okay, so this is what I had as far as my movable view, right? So we got that, we got the about us, still roughly like that. Classes, I don't have any information for that yet. Nutrition, I don't either as well. Contact us, still pretty much the same layout, but this is for an iPhone 12. So let's just go and just do let's just try an iPad Pro. Cool. I know it's going to be a little bit small, but I guess it kind of fits for what it is for right now. Yeah, so home, this is what it looks like. About us, still pretty good. Classes, I don't have any information. Nutrition, and contact us, there it is. So perfect. All right, so now, oh yeah, and as you notice, well, you're not going to notice, but you remember how it had the sticky logo up there where everything just kind of like went behind it as you would scroll down on the mobile view? So now we are going to remove the sticky position for the header for a tablet viewport. All right, so the purpose of the sticky header, remember, was to keep the company name and logo in the view of for a mobile device user. Because the screen size is larger for a tablet user, you can remove the sticky position, and it will help improve the layout for a tablet device user by making the header position static. The following steps, okay, we're going to remove the sticky position from the header element for our tablet viewport. So wait. All right, so as we created the mobile, so now we're going to have to enter stuff for line 164. So we put it right there. And whenever you're making all this is the media query right here. This is where the opening brace and the closing brace. So all of the style rules that we're going to create, it's all going to be stuck inside of here. All right, so there it is for the 164. Let's go enter in a comment just so we could understand what it is that we're doing. Tablet viewport. And this is a style rule for header. All right, so for line 165, we are going to do the header, opening brace, and we are going to enter the position. Of course, we want this static. And then we are going to do a padding for the bottom, and we would like that to be at 2%. Wonderful. All right, so now to style the navigation area for a tablet viewport, this is what we're going to be doing. The default style rules for the navigation list item displays them as vertical links. Yep, so this is the, let's see if there's any changes. Nothing too visible, or pretty much nothing to where you could just really notice yet. But yeah, this is the vertical links with a border between them. And so these are the borders right there. We are going to add a new style rule to display the list items in a single horizontal line and display the border between the nav li selector by displaying it as an inline block. Okay, so removing the top border and defining a right border instead. Then we need to remove the right border from the last link to modify the padding between each link. And the following steps add a style rule to the style sheet to format the nav list items for a tablet viewpoint. All right, so basically that's what it's saying is since we already have these white lines right here, or pretty much like the border dividers, we're going to try to put this on a horizontal view, and it's still going to have this. So I don't know. I don't have the... Because I remember at first we had a border on the top of the home and on the bottom of the contact, and so we had to remove those. So I'm assuming once after we transfer over, those same style rules does not apply? Possibly not. But yeah, so let's just keep on going and let's go. So for the comment, all right, so let's go ahead and enter a comment. We are going to do tablet viewport style rules for nav area. Alright, so here's the nav li that we're going to do. We need my opening curly brace. Alright, so we're going to do the border top, and that is going to be none as described or instructed. And display is going to be the inline block. And then, of course, the border rights. We are going to do 1 pixel. Solid FFF. Perfect. 175 and 177. All right, so let's go ahead and just continue. So we're going to continue that with more style rules. So 177. Okay. So now we're going to modify the nav, or we're going to create a style rule for the nav li as well. And we are going to do the last child opening brace. And the last child is because it's just the last on the list. So let's see what this looks like. Nothing yet. But yeah, so this is just to make sure that the last child or the last contact us right here does not have that border at all. All right, so we're going to do the border right. And we want none to display. Okay, so now the nav lia, we want to do a padding as we wanted before, and this is going to be 0.1 em. 0.75 em. Cool. All right, so let's try this. Yep, so this is going to say like this because this is what it's designed for. Leave this page horizontally. Okay. Something is, something ain't right here. All right. In your browser, then adjust the window the size of the tablet viewport. All right, so why does it look like this? What in the world? And there's the responsiveness in that. Hmm. Okay, well, don't understand what is happening. Yeah, let me just double check to make sure that I got all of the steps right because it should be be working out pretty good. I just don't understand why. Yeah, because at this point they should be horizontal. So let's see. Maybe I just... Yeah, so at this point, these should already be a vertical with the lines going up, and I don't see any of that. Is there an error that I have? Okay, so let's just double check all the stuff that I typed in. Something ain't working so right. Clearly. All right, so comment for that. Media queer for the tablet viewport. At media screen. And oh, it's not a main. For min width. Let's go ahead and just put a space here just so it's easier to read. Yeah, I found it, boy. I found it, doggy. Good boy. And there it was. That was the problem. I ended up typing out main instead of min, and there it is. Oh my god, it's so wonderful. All right, so about us. That's all the stuff that it looks right there. And this is going from Surface Pro 7, so let's go check out for the iPad Pro. Okay, let's just scoot it over just a little bit because it just happens to be just a little bit bigger. All right, so we click the home. There's the hero image. All right, so this part right there, we'll go to the index. That is going to be the head, and okay, so it's the style sheet. Yep, fitness club title. There it is. Yep, and viewport initial scale 1. Cool. So image logo right here. It's going to be on the body, and that's it right there. And I believe that we just have that centered right now, and we removed the stickiness on that. So then we just made it static. So then if I happen to zoom in, I guess, and scroll up, every part of the screen is going to scroll up. Yep, so here it is. We are still in the body section. We've got the div ID hero class, the image source, and there's the hero. That's this guy right there. Wunderbar. That is sick. Oh my goodness, I just couldn't believe the typing error. But you know what? I guess typing errors finds out, but at least you just got to be resourceful enough just to double check and verify your work and just to make sure that it's all nice and correct. Well, there we go. So that turned out really good. We got to do a little bit of troubleshooting right here, kind of early-ish. All right, so yep, we just did the static border right none. Okay, so we just did the nav LIA with the padding. It's a 0.75 EM. Wonderful. All right, so now we are going to style the unordered list elements within the main elements for our tablet viewport. So the unordered list, I think, is the only thing that I have is right here. So these are pretty much the unordered list right there. We were talking about the dumbbells, kettles, and that, the treadmills, pretty much just listing all of the equipments and exercises and whatnots right there. All right, so the About Us page contains unordered list elements within the main content area. The unordered list elements currently appear outside of their parent div element. All right, so let's go to the About Us. So then we could just show. Yeah, so these are the unordered lists right there, and yeah, so the div element, and it's in with the ID cardio, it's been the ID training and exercise. All right, so we need to create a new selector for the main UL, and then add a style rule to apply a margin to the bottom and left of the unordered list. To do that, why? Because if we apply the left margin to the unordered list elements, why is because we need to apply the left margins to the unordered list elements so that they appear within their parent div elements. So it just sounds like it's just for structuring purposes. And then we need to apply the bottom margin to include passive white space after each unordered list elements. Okay, so the following steps: add a new style rule to display and format the main UL for a tablet viewport. All right, so let's go ahead and just do that then. All right, so this is what it is for right now. Cool. So go back to the styles, right? All right, so next one, we're going to put a comment in. And we are going to say tablet style rules for main content area. All right, so we are going to do, the main UL. All right, so we're going to set the margin to 0.04% and 10%. So I don't know if you guys remember, this is going to be the top. Margin 0, right is 0, bottom 4%, and left 10%. All right, so why are 4 values specified for the margin property? Okay, so the first value sets up the top, margin to 0. Okay, the second value sets the right. The third sets the margin up to 4%, and the left. Okay, hold on. Okay, maybe I got that wrong. All right, the first value sets the top margin to 0. The second value sets the right margin to 0. So top, right. The third value is bottom. The fourth value. Okay, yeah, so that's right. Cool. So let's go ahead and just, oh, it auto save. So let's go ahead and just refresh this. And there it is. It kind of just added just a little bit of like an in, yeah. So it just ended up just being just a little kind of like indentation kind of deal. All right, we need to change this back again. I need my music. I was listening to Hail the Sun, so maybe we could see. Surprised there's like no mix or something like that, you know? This is the album I just listened to. There we go. Nope, I don't want this one. Sorry, I know this is not any relevant stuff, but it's relevant to me because I don't want to be doing the work without listening to some good music. All right. But you guys can't hear it. All right, so now we're just going to continue through. Okay, so we need to restore the previous style rules and move them into the tablet media query. In chapter 4, we created a 3 style rules, which I didn't stream that, unfortunately. 3 style rules to style the div element with the ID attribute exercises. However, when you styled content for a mobile viewport in chapter 5, you move these rules to the bottom of the style sheet and convert it into a comment. I did, yeah. And this is them right here. We ended up commenting these out, and this is for the class. Or the ID, exercise DT, and exercise DD. Okay, so those are just the list options right here, and that's these right there. Okay, so now we need to restore these style rules and remove them from, move them to the tablet media query. So why? Because now that the comment exercise div content is displayed for a tablet viewport, you need to style the content. Okay, so basically it just becomes more relevant for us to do that now. The following steps move the style rules for exercises DT and exercises DD into the media query. Okay, so place the insertion point in the beginning of that, just before the comment syntax, and then press the delete key twice to delete the comment syntax. Okay, so yeah, so I guess we are just removing these, and we are removing that as well. Okay, place your insertion beginning of 192, delete twice, place your insertion point at the backspace twice, comment that. All right, so we need to select this, and we need to cut these, and then we are pretty much just going to paste them. All right, so this is up on a Mac. We're going to do Command X. Place the insertion point at the end of line 188 after the closing curly brace. There it is. Okay, so now we should have 190 for the exercise. Okay, something is not lining up here. So 190 is supposed to be the exercise. Oh, okay. Maybe I have... Yep, so I don't need the clear left. I'm just looking at... There it is. So I just had to make sure for whatever the... Okay, so... Okay. Perfect. So after we selected line 93206 press Control X, place your cursor point at the end of line 188. Center key right twice, Control V, Command key V. Okay, so delete the clear left declaration from the exercise style rules to remove it. Perfect. So now I am back to a line. Okay, cool. Why do I need to move these styles within a tablet media query? Because these style rules should apply to a tablet viewport. You place them within the delete the clear property from the exercise style rule. Because the content above, where the div ID exercises, is not floating and the clear property is not needed. Cool. So that is already saved. So let's go ahead and just see what we got. All right. Okay. So I think we're done for that. So now we're going to start working on the contact us. And so far, oh, there it goes. So this is what we have so far as far as these. And I believe we are just probably just going to make some adjustments. All right, so let's try the Surface Pro. Okay, cool. All right, so the Contact Us page is currently designed in a mobile viewport. It displays a telephone link to easily call the Ford Fitness Club. It also displays a smaller map. Okay, yeah, it sure does. All right, so because tablet devices cannot make phone calls, the telephone link is unnecessary. So we need to update the Contact Us page by adding another heading for element with the phone number. But we just got to make sure we don't include the telephone link. We need to apply the tablet desktop class. The tablet desktop class to the heading for elements so that it is hidden for a mobile viewport and is displayed for tablet viewport. You also need to apply the mobile class to the telephone anchor element so that it is displayed only for a mobile viewport. Because the tablet viewport is larger than a mobile viewport, we need to adjust the height of the map to its original size. Yeah, because now we can allocate since it has a space for it. All right, so we are going to modify the Contact Us page, add another heading for element to the Contact Us page that includes the telephone number without the telephone link, and apply tablet desktop class to the element. So then we need to apply the mobile class to the heading for element that contains the telephone link so that the tablet device cannot make a phone call. Therefore, we need to hide the telephone link and display only the telephone number. So the following steps: creates the heading for elements with a class for attribute value of telnum on the contact.html page and style rule for the telnum class selector. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and go to the contact.html. It says the tell link. Yep, so this is right here. So we need, okay, open that. Online 37, place your insertion point before the tell link class value. Yep, right here. And then we are going to enter, whoa. Mobile tell link, yep. And enter key. And then type, okay, so now we are just heading the H4 and we are going to, so enter the class equals tablet desktop, tell num, okay, so there is the class right there. And then we are going to enter the actual phone number so it can display it. So 814, whoa, 555 9608. And then, yep. And then there is tag. Wonderful. Before, okay, heading element 4. Okay, to add a heading 4 element. Okay, that's what we did. So wheat. So let's see if this has any visible changes to what we did. Let me tap on the phone. There it is. Nothing is happening. Now, if I would have done that before, obviously me being on a desktop, it will probably try to use whatever link services that I have in here for phone call devicing, like FaceTime or something like that. All right, so it says return to the styles.css. We need to place an insertion point right at 203. Okay, and then enter twice. So then now, so we just created that tell num class. So now we are going to make some style rules for it. So there's the tell num right there. Opening curly brace, and we want to do the font size. We just want to make this at 1.25 EM. Okay, close it up with a semicolon, and there is my closing curly brace. Wonderful. So now the telephone link is hidden. All right, so let's go check here again. Yep, so the telephone link is hidden right there. It will not allow me to click. And for the new heading element 4 with the phone number is displayed, and it sure is. And there it is. Now this, it should be because, you know, most tablets, they still have, you know, some kind of like mail application that's embedded within their system or whatnot, you know, if they have it all set up. All right, wonderful. So now we are going to style the map for a tablet viewport. All right, the map of the Contact Us page is currently styled for a mobile viewport, obviously. Create a new style rule within the tablet media query to use the default height and width of the embedded map. The following steps create a new style rules for the map class selector within the tablet media query. So I believe from what we're trying to do with the map is now that we are, so obviously the size of this is designed for a mobile view. So now that we have a tablet, we pretty much have some more extra additional spaces that that's pretty much given to us. So I think we are going to revert it back to its original size so it can just be easily viewable. All right, so we are gonna go to, yep, so it's still all gonna be done at the media query. And there it is right there, the media query. Whoa, that's pretty cool that the media query is sticky up there. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and just enter the dot map. We already are selecting this class is because we already have that class created. So all we're doing was just adding additional style rules into that. But the additional style rules that we have that is outside of the query will stay the same. And then this is pretty much going to do it for only for the viewport of the tablet. So there's a dot map, opening curly brace, and we're going to do the width is going to be 600 px. And then the height, we are going to do 450 pixels. Cool. So let's go ahead and save this. And let's see what it do. There it is. Wonderful. Yeah, so it's a little bit more bigger, a little bit more easier to see. Yeah, wonderful. All right, so now we're going to be designing for the desktop viewport. So that's wonderful. So now we pretty much covered the mobile viewports. And just like I said earlier, this whole entire thing, we don't have to design specifically for each devices and all different, screen sizes and resolutions and whatnot. So then this just enables us to, I don't know, just pretty much have a responsive design so it can be easily viewable between all of the, different devices and whatnot. All right, so we use a simple style sheet in Chapter 4 to create a desktop layout. Now we will create a similar layout using responsive design and create a media query for a desktop viewport. The same desktop design principles apply for responsive design. So we use simple, intuitive navigation, clear images, and typography, and apply the same color scheme. But we need to maintain the same look and feel to the site. To modify the layout to the best accommodate the desktop viewport. Because desktop screens are often wider than those for other devices, designing a desktop viewport also provides an opportunity for a multiple column layout. The one method for multiple column layouts is shown in this chapter, and another method will be covered in Chapter 7. Okay, that's wonderful. All right, so in the styles.css, okay, so that's where we're going to be at. All right, so, yep, so, yeah, so we're done with this. So this media query is for the tablet view. So now we're going to create a media query for desktop. So let's do a comment. All right, so we do the media screen. Oh, I'm not gonna mess up this time. So this one we're gonna do 769 pixels. Close that out. There's the opening and curly brace. Wonderful. All right, so to create a style rule for the header element in desktop media query, we need to create a two-column layout for the header and nav elements as you did in chapter 4. So we need to start by creating a style rule for the header element that floats it to the left and sets the width to 25%. The tablet media query specifies bottom padding for the header. Because the style rule is inherited by the desktop media query, we need to remove the bottom padding. And the following steps create a style rules for the header selector as desired for a desktop viewport. Okay, so let it. All right, so let's go and enter a comment again. All right, so we are going to do the header. Just like we said, the width is going to be 25%. We are going to want to float this to the left. And we are going to do the padding to the bottom. And we're going to do that at 0. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this. So. I kind of messed up right there. Okay, so the padding bottom, perfect if that's 0, wonderful. All right, so now, oh, it's a little bit wonky, ain't it? Oh my goodness. But this is floating to the left. Okay, the nav bar is floating to the top. Something ain't right with this. so let's, yeah. Okay, so we just checked here. Perfect. So this is floating to the left. About us, the nav bar is on the top. About us is kind of wonky. Classes, that's okay. Nutrition, don't have any content in there yet. And still, yeah, so this is still a little bit wonky right there. All right, to style the navigation element for a desktop viewport. Okay, so we need to style the navigation area to appear in a single unified element. To the right of this header element with navigation links evenly distributed within the area, and it's not right now. So the first step is to create this layout, and it is to create a style rule that floats the nav to the right, sets its width to 70% and sets its margin. The following steps create a style rule for the nav selectors as desired for the desktop viewport. All right, so we need to start off. All right, so let's go ahead and just enter our comments. Area. All right, so here's the nav. We want to float to the right. The width is going to be 70%. Okay, and the margin is going to be 4 EM, 1 EM, 0, 0. All right, so cool. So let's see what it does now. And there it is. It's kind of just aligned just a little bit more centered right there, floating to the right. Interesting. Okay, so that hasn't really applied. It only applies to the home. Okay, maybe we're just not there yet. All right, so we need to style the unordered list in the navigation area for a desktop viewport. The next step is to create a single unified navigation area. Is to create a new style rule for the unordered list with a nav element. Create a style rule. We need to create a style rule that aligns the text to the right. The following steps add style rules in unordered lists in the navigation elements as desired for a desktop viewport. Okay, so we're adding more into there. Okay, so we need to type navul. All right, so tab UL, open curly brace. So we could add a new selector, okay? And we need to increase the indent, and okay, indent is there. So we're gonna do text align, and we are gonna go right. So we could add the new declaration. Okay, so then we need to decrease the indent and type curly brace to insert the closing brace. Okay, so that's what we have. All right, so let's go and see what we got. Yeah, it's still a little wonky. All right, so now we need to style the list items. All right, so to style the list item links in the navigation area for a desktop viewport, the navigation area now appears as a single unified line. Yep. Although the border needs to be removed, the next step is styling the navigation area is to create a new style rule for the list items and the list item links. So we need to create a style rule for the list items within the nav element to remove the border. Then we apply some padding to increase the amount of space around each link. And the following steps create a new style rule for the list items and list items links within the navigation element as desired for the desktop viewport. All right, so we need to put that there. Okay, so we're gonna type the li, or nav li. Nav li, so we're gonna add a new selector. Press so in 238, we need to increase that and type border. We want to set that to none, so we could add that declaration. Okay, so now, okay, so that one is done. So now we need to do the nav li. Nav lia, sorry. Yep, so nav lia for the new selector, and we are gonna add padding to 0.5 em and then 1 em. All right, so nav lia to new selector in case. So we add a new declaration. Okay. All right, so there it is. That's not there, but it's still not somewhat aligned. Why isn't that showing up for everything? That's what I don't understand. God, gosh, this is gonna be one heck of a thing to troubleshoot. All right, so we got that padding. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so to style the main elements for a desktop viewport, okay, the appearance of the main content area appears normal on the home page. However, hey, I knew it wasn't crazy. But when you view the About Us and Contact Us page, the page layout appears distorted. Yes, it is. And very distorted. What is it? Contact Us. Very distorted. Yeah, so this is due to the float properties applied to the header and nav elements. Okay, yeah, of course. To correct the layout issue, we need to create a new style rule for the main element that specifies a clear property with a value of left. The following steps create a new style rule for the main element as is desired for the desktop viewport. Sweet! I knew I wasn't crazy! All right, so we need to place the insertion in 243, enter twice, and so we need to add the comment, and we are going to do desktop viewport. And this is style rules for main content. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do the main. Oh. Yeah. So main. And we are going to do this new selector. Okay, so we are gonna type clear the left. Wunderbar. Yeah. I believe that I did it right there. Cool. So let's go to the About Us. Yeah, boy. Let's try to contact us. Wonderful. Look at that. That's, yeah. So for the main, clear left. Wonderful. So then it just applies all the same rules that it has on there because just order of operations, I'm assuming. So this is taking precedent to what was applied on the previous ones. And it just kind of just realigns everything. Okay, okay. All right, so now we need to style the heading 1 elements within the main element for our desktop viewport. Okay, so we need to adjust the font size for heading 1 elements in the main elements to enhance their appearance to complement a multiple column layout. The following steps create the new style rules for heading 1 elements within the main elements as desired for the desktop viewport. All right, so there's that. So we are going to add more. All right, so we're going to do the main H1. Yep, so main heading 1, opening curly brace into that for the new selector. And so we are going to do the fonts size 1.8 EM. So we can just add that new declaration. Wonderful. I think based off of these is really not that much. Yeah, so this is what we changed right there. So let's go ahead and just change this to 10.em. Oh my lord! Yeah, you see the big differences now. Big difference. So let's go ahead and just change that back to 1.8. Cool. All right, so now so the About Us page is designed for a desktop viewport. So when the About Us page is displayed in a desktop viewport, the weights, cardio, and personal training div elements appear in a single column. All right, so we need to modify the layout to use 3 columns instead of 1 column for the main content, similar to what you did in chapter 4. Okay, that makes sense. Hold up a second because my music, yeah, I'm still listening. Cool. So to create a multiple column layout for the desktop viewport, yeah, so we basically see how these are all pretty much just, I don't know, I guess vertical right now. We want to do, so now that we have the size, we're going to move this there, we're going to move this there, and the third one there. So that's just going to be the multiple column visible into just one desktop view, I guess. All right, so, let's just change this back to, yeah. So we want to line them up all pretty much next to each other. Okay, so create a 3-column for the weights, cardio, and personal training div elements. To make the 3-column, create a new style rule. Weights, cardio, and training selectors, and specify float, width, and margin properties. We need to create another style rule to clear the float of the exercise div so we don't get all distorted again. And the following steps create a new style rule for the weights, the ID weights, ID cardio, ID training selectors as desired for the desktop viewport. Okay, so cool. So we need to get down to right here. Okay, add that for that. So we are gonna type in, there's the weights selector. Cardio, then training. Add on to that. All right, so we need to do the width, and we have to set it at 29%. And then we are going to do the float, and that is going to be left. So we're going to add that. And then we're going to add the margin, and we are going to do 0, 2%. Okay. Cool. So let's re-verify. We get the weights, cardio training, the width at 29%, float is set to the left, margin is set at 0 and 2%. Okay. All right, so then we need to enter that. So we add and create a new one. So now we are going to do exercises. Oh my gosh. This is my nemesis. Size, and we are going to clear left. Cool, wonderful. So let's see what it is do. There it is. Cool. So there it is. All right. Okay. So as the viewport size increases, the layout of the website is degraded. To fix this, we need to create another media query that targets larger viewports and specify the width of the primary div elements with the ID attribute of container. All right, so to create a media query for large desktop viewports, okay, so again, we need to create another media query that constrains the width of the website layout. To do this, we need to create a new media query with the minimum width of 1921 pixels. Create a style rules for the class container selector, so that sets the width to 1920px and sets the left and right margins to auto to center the page. We just want to make sure that the website layout looks professional on the large desktop viewports. And so here are the steps for that. Okay, so go back to your style.css. Center line at 264. Okay, so this is the media query for the screen, right? For the desktop view. So now we're just going to do it just for, I guess, even bigger desktop viewers. People with like big screens, I guess. I don't know. All right, so let's enter the comments so we know what we are doing. Yeah, this is people with like, I don't know, or ultra wide desktop screens and or putting it on a TV or something like that. That is an 84-inch projector. I don't know, movie. All right, so let's do add media, screen, and min width. Oh, that's how you spell that. 1921 pixels. Okay. Space there. Cool. And there is the new media query right there. All right, wonderful. All right, so now we need to do all right, so now we need to do a new selector for the container. And then what we have to do is set the width to 1920px, okay? And we need to do the margin at 0 auto. So then we don't have to pretty much worry about any of that. Okay, so why are we creating a one style rule for the ID container? Well, all pages and elements are within a parent div element with an ID attribute value of a container. Okay, so why am I setting the top and bottom margin to 0 and left and right margins to auto? Well, to center the web page content, you set the left and right margins to auto, yeah, and set the top and bottom to 0 because you do not want the top and bottom margin for the ID container. Okay, so let's see. And there it is. And so I think it was probably noticed before, but do you see how all of these empty spots right here are all pretty much just dark? Yeah. So the bigger that you get on this, it's just going to keep expanding like the dark, I guess, you know. And it's supposed to do that because just imagine you know, you see like a cutoff end or something like that. Classes, yep, so this is my content, so of course this was white and then the rest of it is going to be black. Same as for nutrition, but I have no contents in any of these. Contact page, same. Cool. Yeah, so even if I were to extend this out, there it is right there. All right, so let's do the Surface Pro 7. Yeah, but now we are desktop, so it's probably safe that we could just keep it a responsive. Yeah. So here it is right here. So this is, oh, This is pretty much all the stuff that we just did. Let's escape out of the dev tools part. All right, so this is where we are. We could just go in and just expand all of this, and it's still being responsive as it is. So let's minimize this, or just make it a little bit more smaller. So it goes like that. Then we'll keep going. And there it is. So this is the tablet view, essentially. So we'll go back to home. Yep, still the tablet view. This is for the media query that we just created. Go a little bit smaller, and what do you know? The staticness of the ID, and this is your essential mobile viewport. Yep, so it goes back to about us. Everything's all still aligned. Perfect. Classes, I don't have any contents on there. Nutrition, not as well. Look at this. And then it even goes back into the smaller map size. Wow. So then as we get bigger and bigger, there it is. See how that snapped? So once after, because you remember how we set the we set the, right there, yeah. So if it reaches anything below 769, right, pixels, then all of these pretty much are active right there. So then anything below the 630 media query, then we start hitting the desktop or the mobile phone. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right, so let's so let's make this just a little bit bigger. Oh, and you see how that snaps? Wonderful. Yeah, I'm looking at the figure that I have on there. It just seems like the padding to the right and to the left, I don't see that. Let me just re-verify. 1920, margin auto. Yeah, I don't see that. Oh, yeah, of course I'm not going to be able to see that because I don't have a big screen. Okay, so now we need to okay. Oh yeah, I can. Here, hold on. Hold on. Mr. Friend. All right, so we go to inspect. So let's type in yeah, so it said to verify, type in viewport size to 2560. And there it is right there. Yep, so there's the two. Yeah, okay. So I got the padding everywhere pretty much and all that. Okay, wonderful. Okay, I did have it. All right, so now we need to create a media query for print. So we need to create another media query to create a printer-friendly web page. And to do this, we need to create a new media query and specify the type as print. Next, we need to create a style rule for the body selector that sets the background color to white and the text color to black. Finally, you need to add the print type to the tablet and desktop media queries so that the page, in case the user wants to print the page. The following steps create a new media query and style rule for the body selector. Okay. All right, so go back to the style CSS and 74. Wonderful. So now we're going to put a comment again, just so we can always refer back to where we're going. All right, so we're going to do the at media print. All right, so now we need to go back to, okay, so we need to create, okay. So let's do the body, and we are going to do wrong. Yep, so now we need to set the background color. And this is the white. And then the text color is going to be black. All right, so step 3, we need to go to line 153. Okay, yeah, so we just need to add the prints into all of the ones that we previously had for the media queries. So line 153. So we do it from there. And then we need to put a comma. And we allow that to be print. And then where's the other? Go right here, comma that, print. All right, so here's the thing. Here's a Q&A. Why do I need to add the print type to the tablet and desktop media queries? So, because if you do not add the print type to the tablet and desktop media queries, the default mobile style rules will apply to the printed page, which is the user having a piece of paper. It is going to be all black. Yeah. It's not going to be no good. All right, perfect. Yeah, so all right, let's do this thing. Oh my goodness. All right, so to determine the viewport width for the desktop viewport. Okay, so you have set a standard breakpoint for the desktop media query. However, when the web page is viewed at 769 pixels, the navigation is displayed into 2 lines. Likewise, the personal training text on the About Us page is also displayed on 2 lines. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just do that. So go to Inspect. Set this to 769. Yeah, so this is what it's referring to right there. Right there. To keep the navigation links and heading 1 text on 1 line, we need to modify the style sheet and adjust the min width size for the desktop media query. Why? Currently, the breakpoint value is too small for the desktop viewport. So using the correct breakpoint value will correct the 2-line problem. So we need to increase the breakpoint value for the desktop media query to improve the layout of the viewport. So use a browser developer tool, okay, yep, to help determine a more suitable breakpoint value. The following steps open the about.html page in Google Chrome's device mode. Okay, so open the about. All right, so that's where we are. And we set the viewport to 769. That's what we did. Okay, so slowly drag the handle right to navigate personal line. Note to the viewport. Okay. Oh yeah, things are definitely changing and scooting. Yep, the contact us is down there, and then it scoots up. So 1020. 1020 is good. 1019 is no good. So 1020. Okay, so for mine, it says that it's 1020, but I'm thinking it's just... I wonder if it's... right, so yeah, so mine is at a 1020 to 19 is a little bit too small. Let's see what they say in the book, and then let's see what if it actually appears okay. If not, then I'm gonna have to readjust it to my 1020, just due to my, I guess, just from the settings and from the parameters that I have set already. Okay, so now that we've determined a minimum width at which page displays the navigation and personal training text on one line, you change the breakpoint with the desktop media query, so we can modify the breakpoint for a desktop media query to keep the navigational links and personal training text on one line. Based on my inspection, the width for the desktop viewport is 1009 pixels. As a best practice, use a width slightly larger than 1009 pixels. For the desktop viewport, the following steps modify. Okay. So return to styles, as he says, super return a bigger value, line 217. All right, so let's try this out. All right, so line 217, so we're going to modify this to yeah, so I'm just going to write what they write, and then we'll see if it all right, so let's see if it makes no, it's still yeah, so I may have to do this to 1025. Let's just do what they do. Okay, save that. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna wait until yeah. So I'm just gonna set mine to 1025 just so it could be a little bit more accurate based off of the stuff that I have and what my screen displays. Cool. All right, so then yeah, there it is. So then it just pops straight into the one line. So watch. So then if I do 1019, okay, save that. Now watch. Now we're gonna be able to see. Okay, well, I guess it's still good. So let's try. Yeah, let's just decide what they do. 1015. Maybe I'm just have this all sorts of backwards. Okay, yeah, I had it all wrong. Wonderful. All right, so now the next steps is we need to add a dynamic pseudo class. Pseudo classes to a style sheet. So to add a new style rule for the hover pseudo class, to style the links within the navigation area for the desktop viewport. Why? The hover pseudo class provides an interactive experience for the desktop user. To create a style rule for the list items and anchor elements within the navigation, apply the hover pseudo class. Ooh. The following steps add a style rule that uses the hover pseudo class to the desktop media query. All right. So we need to place insertion point into 243. The desktop viewport. Okay. So, nav area, nav. Okay. All right, so we need to type the nav LIA, and we are going to do the hover, space that. So we're going to do the color. We are going to do black. And then we're going to do the background color to white. Okay, so essentially, if we're going to go here, we should see like a white box. I guess that kind of like hovers once after we start hovering this right here. So let's see that. And there it is. I wish it was just a little bit more rounded though, you know? That would be kind of cool. Oh, hey, boy. What you doing, buddy? You relaxing? Yeah, I'm still working. Good boy. You're a good dog. Okay, cool. And there it is right there. Let's just do something fun. Let's go ahead and just change it to, I don't know. Let's do blue. Let's do teal. Yeah. So we'll go here. See how it's white? Let's go and reset it. Wow! That seems so cool. But let's just do white so we could just stick to the book rules, or what the book is selected. So we need to do FFF. There it is. So let's reset this, and there it is. Okay, cool. All right. Cool. So I guess now we are gonna go through gradients. All right. So to add a linear gradient, we need to add a linear gradient to the div element with the ID attribute exercise for the tablet viewport so that the gradient background enhances the appearance of the web page in tablet and desktop displays. All right, so let's get to it. So when you go to the end of line 192, excuse me? Okay, so, all right, so we're gonna go to the exercises, which it is right here. So border and bottom, that. So we're gonna go and add a background, and we're gonna do the linear gradient to right, and white to add the new declaration. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go to this. Cool. So we're going to do the background linear gradient. Linear gradient. And we are going to do to right. Zero, zero, zero. Okay, why is that looking all sorts of kind of crazy? Okay, linear gradient to right. Yeah, okay. All right, so so what we did, linear gradient, should be applied into the common exercises. Okay. So let's go to the tablets, iPad Pro. Background linear. Okay. I don't have that. let's change this into, let's just do some Midwest emo stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the gradient like I think I'm supposed to. Well, that's why. Oh, it'd be, I thought it'd be a little bit more simpler than that. I think it's a little too. Let's use, let's use, let's use some math rock. Yeah, like this one right here. Oh, is it because I'm not on? Hmm. Oh, see, it's doing that thing again. Yeah, I don't see that little gradient thing. Well, let's just continue through. Let me just re-verify it one more time. Background, linear gradient. Linear gradient. To right. Is this supposed to be one word? What is the two? Okay, well. That cleared that out, right? Okay, so let's try it again. I don't think I'm gonna get it. Maybe I'm just not understanding this section too much. Yeah, I mean, cool. Let's keep it going. All right, so to display the website in multiple viewports. Okay, so now that you have completed the responsive web design for the Forward Fitness Club website, it's time to view the website from each viewport. You can use a Google Chrome device, blah, blah, blah. And you can use the website viewports to the Google Chrome device mode. Okay, so open the index and Chrome device mode. Select the Mobile S. Okay, so let's do the Mobile S. I don't know what a Mobile S means, but I assume it could just be any mobile device, right? So let's do the iPhone XE. Cool. So contact us, and there it is. Works out good with the static that. Okay, select the tablet. Let's do the Surface Pro. Okay, that. So it's showing that. All right, so let's select a laptop. Oh, the ZenBook Fold. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay, select laptop, 1020. Yep. Cool. This is it. Wonderful. All right, so pretty much all that's left to do is we just have to go check our things. So we could go to ooh. All right, so we got this error right here. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so value of background linear gradient is not a background color value. Gradient to the right, parse error that. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what this thing is talking about. All right, so the value error background linear is not a background color. All right, so let me find that page all over again because something ain't right. Background. Okay, so the border top, 1 pixel solid. Border bottom, 1 pixel solid 0, 0. Oh, there it is. There's that little gradient. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense because I just didn't have it properly. Okay. There it is. It should be exercise, not exercise. And that's probably why it's not working out because it's reading it as a. Alright, so we'll go back on here and then let's try it out again. Still. So now it just says exercise. Background is not a background color. Value, it's not that. is a vendor extension. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't know how to fix this. I mean, I have no idea. All right, let's see. Okay. So exercises, border type 1 pixel that. Yeah. Well, sorry, but I'm gonna... Go to the data v3. Let's check that. No errors. No errors. Contact. Oh. Contact. No errors. Index. No errors. Nutrition. No errors. Template. No errors. Yeah, the only thing that I'm really just not sure about, I'll probably have to ask the professor, is I'll ask him in class on Thursday, because we have class on Thursday, and he'll be able to confirm, I guess, just how to do that. But otherwise, the rest of it looks good. All right, thank you. Thanks, guys.